Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I haven't posted any type of update on here in a while. If you haven't already, my birth vlog has been posted. Go check it out if you want. But basically I just wanted to come on here, kind of give an update on what's been happening, what's been going on, how we're doing, all of that fun stuff. So we are 2 weeks post-delivery. My son is 15 days old, so he was 2 weeks yesterday. Everything has been going really good. He had a weight check today, which went really well. He is up over his birth weight, so that's really good. The day of delivery, I guess I can give kind of like a rundown of how my labor and delivery went. If you don't want to go watch the long birth video, because it is almost an hour long, then I guess you can just watch this and get the Cliff Notes version. So I guess I'll start with the night of May 5th. Around, I don't know, 6:30, we sat down to eat dinner, and I just really wasn't feeling, I don't know, I wasn't feeling right. It wasn't feeling like great. My belly just didn't feel good. About 7 contractions started. And they lasted for about 2 hours when I finally decided it's time to go to the hospital. I had gone up to labor and delivery before, and I always went by myself because I just didn't have that feeling that like he was going to be making his appearance. But that night something told me we need to drop my daughter off and my husband needs to go with me. I just had that feeling. So around 9:30, we dropped my daughter off at my sister-in-law's, and we headed up to labor and delivery. When we got there, they checked me. I was still only 1 centimeter. They hooked me up, and like after 5 minutes, the midwife came in and was like, yeah, you're not in active labor. Your contractions aren't that close together. And I'm like, I've only been hooked up for 5 minutes, but okay. So they kept me for about an hour or so. I want to say it was like 10:30, 10:45 maybe. Probably, I think it was more close to 10:30, 10:45. I don't know, somewhere in between there. They come in, they're like, yeah, you're definitely not in labor. You're in the early stages. Like, your body is definitely getting ready. Like, you are having real contractions. They are just not close enough together to keep you. I'm like, okay. She's like, well, don't eat, because I wouldn't be surprised if I see you back by the end of the night. It could happen. I'm thinking, okay, whatever. Like, you're not going to see me back by the end of the night. It's cool. Like, I got it. I'm not in labor. We're going home. So we get in the car, and I live about 35 minutes away from home. Or from the hospital. Live about 35 minutes away from the hospital. So we get in the car, and I'm still having contractions as we're in the car. Like, they're not stopping, obviously. I'm gonna go into labor. I have that feeling. It's gonna happen soon. I just don't know what's gonna happen, because you can have contractions forever before you go into labor. So about, I don't know, 11-ish, we get back to one of the exits close to our house. So we get close to our exit. We're like 3 exits away. When we stop off, because I'm hungry, I need food. At this point, it had been 4.5 hours since I ate. Like, your girl needed food, especially if I was gonna go into labor, even though they told me not to eat. They told me that because I was supposed to be a scheduled C-section. And obviously you can't eat before a C-section because, you know, it's surgery. You could throw up, aspirate, all that fun stuff. So we get off this exit and McDonald's is closed. I'm like, crap. Okay. okay, I can wait till we get back to where we live to get off the exit and get food there. So we come up finally to close to our exit, and I feel, and it's almost like you can hear it too, but I felt, because I know I didn't hear it, that's crazy, but it just feels that way. I felt a pop. I'm like, that's a little weird. I don't know what that was. And then like a minute or two later, I feel another pop. I was like, oh, I think this is my water breaking. And I start to feel a little wet. So I put my hand down there. I was like, oh, Brad. I said, I'm wet. I said, that I did not pee my pants. And he's looking at me. And we come up, right as this happens, we come up to our exit. And they're doing construction right there at our exit. And nobody's moving. Traffic isn't moving. And of course, I'm still having contractions. So I'm like, in between contractions, I'm like, oh my God. Like, I am wet. Like, it just gushed. My water completely broke in the front seat of my car. And I was like, oh my God. My water just broke. Oh my God. Like, that's literally how it went. I was freaking out. I put in the group text to our family, because I had our family in a group text. And I said, my water just broke. So my mom calls me. And I'm like on the verge of freaking tears, because I'm like, one, I'm in disbelief because holy shit, my water just broke in my front seat of my car right after I left labor and delivery. And two, holy shit, we're about to have a baby. We're gonna be having a baby. I'm 38 weeks still at this point. And so at 11:15 p.m., my water breaks. And I was like, Brad, we gotta turn around. Like, we gotta go back to the hospital. And thankfully, where we were stopped on the interstate, there's that gap in the, like, fence and whatever, that emergency personnel can, get through if they need to turn around. He pops a Yui, and we head straight back. So I get off the phone with my mom, because I'm like, I can't concentrate, I cannot focus on talking to you. I'm having contractions. And at this point, they're probably 4 or 5 minutes apart. Maybe 5 to 7. Don't quote me on it, because I could not tell you. I was not timing them. Of course, you can't really focus to time your contractions when you're having contractions. That shit hurts. So I called the hospital back. I called labor and delivery. Shit. Sorry, I just remembered I forgot to sign a paper that my daughter... Damn it. Squirrel brain. Mom brain, I'm telling you. So anyways, I call labor and delivery. I'm like, hey, my water just broke. I'm on my way back up. And what time is it? 1:34. Okay. So I was like, hey, my water just broke. I'm on my way back up. So they're like, okay, we'll let them know that you're on your way back up. I get up there. My husband has to wheel me into the hospital up to the 4th floor, because I'm not walking. Not with these contractions, and not with my water still gushing. It is still gushing. So we get back there about 11:45, maybe, 11:40. And they get up there. They want me to pee in a cup. Like, are you kidding me? My water is gushing everywhere, and you want me to pee in a cup. So I pee in the cup, and y'all, it's the most disgusting thing I've ever dealt with in my life. And I'm pretty sure I said that the whole way to the hospital. Like, this is gross. This is disgusting. If your water's ever broke, you know exactly what I mean. It's nasty. So I get into the labor and delivery room. The triage room, is what they call it. And they're like, we're not even gonna get you hooked up to the monitors. We're just gonna get you right up into a room. Your water clearly broke. I was like, yes, it did. Thank you. It was not one of those maybe things. That my water definitely broke. So they get me in a gown. Thankfully, I can take my undergarments off because it's pretty gross. They wheel me up to the room where I'm going to give birth. And So they get me up on the way up there. The nurse, she's just so nice, so awesome. She's like, do you want the epidural? I'm like, yes, I do. Because when I got back to the hospital, I was 3 centimeters and 80% effaced. Like, I went from 1 to 3 in like an hour. I was like, yes, I want that epidural because this shit hurts. Yeah, I was handling it pretty well though, I will say. Like, it definitely making noises, but it definitely hurt. But I knew I wanted that epidural. She's like, okay, we got to get the anesthesiologist up here, all that. And it did take, I want to say, an hour or so until I finally got the epidural. I'm not sure how dilated I was at that point when I finally did get the epidural, but the anesthesiologist was amazing. He walked me through everything. He told me exactly what he was doing. We did have a little bit of trouble getting it in just because I apparently have a little bit of scoliosis, and it kept wanting to go in funny. But he did finally get it, and it was amazing. Amazing. And with my daughter, with the epidural, with her, that shit didn't work. I'm just gonna say it. It did not work. I actually have her birth story on here from a while ago. Maybe 2 years ago is when I did her birth story, or maybe a year ago. She's 8, so obviously I wasn't doing YouTube when she was born. I just started YouTube like 2.5 years ago. But it is on there if you want to go check it out. Horrible experience. But with her, my epidural really didn't work. I mean, it numbed me from like the waist down, but like I felt all the contractions up here and into my sides, like my hips. He did tell me though that he really can't control if I get contractions in my hips. Epidural probably won't help that. I was like, oh great, because that's how it was with my daughter. But I literally felt everything with her. The cool thing about this time, I could still kind of feel my legs, but like this was perfect. I could still wiggle my toes, and he said, good, I actually want you to be able to wiggle your toes and move your legs a little bit, which was crazy because I thought really like I would be 100% numb. I wouldn't be able to move anything. But I was able to still move my legs a little bit and move my feet. The left side, I did notice, got more of the epidural than the right side did. But again, I couldn't feel any contractions. I couldn't feel any of that. So about 3.5 hours after we get there, they check me again, and I'm now at 6 centimeters. So I'm like, okay, great. Like, this is moving fast. Like, we're going to have this baby soon. Wow. As soon as you get that epidural, sometimes things can slow down. Contractions will slow down. And, you know, things won't move as fast. So the next time they checked me, because they were checking me every 3 hours. So the next time they checked me, I was between 7 and 8. He just hadn't descended far enough down. So, the second time they checked me, between 7 and 8 centimeters, they started Pitocin because, like I said, everything was slowing down. Contractions were not close enough together to really get me where I needed to be. So they did give me Pitocin, which was fine. Even though with my daughter, I had Pitocin because I had to be induced. It was the worst experience of my life with her. But again, I feel like had my epidural worked, probably would have had a better experience. This time, I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel any of the Pitocin, none of the contractions, because with Pitocin, your contractions are like 100 times worse, let me tell you. It sucks if you feel that. But I didn't feel it this time, which was great, because they had to keep upping and upping and upping, and really my contractions never got closer than 4 minutes apart. The next time they checked me, I want to say it was a little after 7 a.m. My doctor was actually on call that day. She wasn't on call when I went into the hospital. Thankfully, I hadn't had him yet, because I wanted my doctor to deliver. I hadn't met any of the other doctors in that office, so I had no idea who the doctor was that was on call. So a little after 7, my OB comes in. She checks me. She's like, yeah, you're still between 7 and 8. You're more towards 8, but you haven't progressed. And at this point, I'd already been in labor for several hours, and I was feeling a lot of pressure. I was starting to feel a lot of pressure in my hind end. Wasn't feeling contractions really, but I was feeling pressure back here. So I was like, okay, like this really sucks. I've been stuck at 7 to 8 for hours. Like I'm not having a good time. And so, a couple hours goes by, they come back in, they check me again, I'm still there. Like, oh my God, like, I'm starting to get defeated. I'm starting to feel like I cannot do this. So I asked my doctor, I was like, so, when can I go back for my C-section? I was ready to give up. And she goes, hey, you're in charge. If you want to go back, you just let me know. We'll go back. She's like, it's completely up to you. She said, but I fully believe you can do this. I believe that this baby will come out on his own, and I think you can have a successful VBAC. But it's up to you. You can do what you want. I was like, okay, I'll think about it. So they left, and I kind of I had a little breakdown. I cried. Just because I was feeling super defeated at this point. I didn't think I could do this. I was just ready for this to be done. It was more so my fear, because with my daughter, I never made it past 8 centimeters. She got stuck. And so my fear was, great, here we go again. He's going to be stuck. I'm going to end up in a C-section anyways, might as well go back. So I was letting my fear get the best of me. But after that little breakdown, I was just like, you know what? I'm already there. Like, I'm already this close. Let's just see what happens. So finally, fast forward, it's flipping me from side to side on the peanut ball, trying to get me to progress more, let gravity take its course. That peanut ball, even though I really did not like it, but I will say it did help. Did not like the peanut. Maybe it's because I'm so short. Like, it's hard for my legs to stay over. I didn't like it, but it helped. I will say that it really did help. Because you can only do so many positions when you have the epidural, because you're like bottom heavy. You can't really do anything else. At one point they had me sitting like all the way up in the bed with my legs like out, like sitting out, like, you know, out. I can't really show you in here. I'm in the car and I got shorts on, so that wouldn't be appropriate. But they had my legs out, sitting all the way up, letting gravity just kind of take him down. So about 4:20 p.m., they come in and they're like, guess what? You're fully dilated. Or it was more towards 3 o'clock. They come in, you're fully dilated, you're 2 of 10, but he hasn't quite dropped all the way down. So they sit me back up in the bed, put my legs out again. They're like, we're going to give you an hour. We're going to come back in, and it'll probably be time to start pushing. I was like, okay, holy crap. And at this point, I have so much pressure in my butt. So much pressure in my butt that it's insane. Like, I could not feel the front, but the back, oh my God. Like, it wasn't pain, but it was pressure. And if you've ever felt that pressure, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Honestly, it's worse than the pain. That pressure was worse than pain. And so they bring in the CRNA to give me, like, fix me up with some drugs. So they give me some drugs, and I feel better. I still feel a little bit of pressure, but I feel better. But about 4:20 comes around, and they're like, all right, are you ready to start pushing? I was like, oh God, here we go. Like, it's time to start pushing. He's there. They can see his head. He is ready. So I'm pushing and I'm pushing. After about 20 minutes, she's like, do you know if you're pushing right? I don't know. I've never done this before. How do you know if you're pushing right? Like, I feel like I am, but I can't feel anything. She's like, okay, well, that's a problem. We're going to turn off your epidural. Shit. Crap. Okay. So they turn off my epidural so I can start to feel, to push. And that really sucks. So the pressure starts to really, really come back in my butt. And I finally get going again. She's like, you're good, you're pushing right. Like, I can feel it. And as I'm pushing on that, they have me push 3 times. On that third push, I really start to get winded. Every third push, I get winded. Like, I'm out of breath. I can't really do it anymore. But they're stretching me to help him come out. And they realize, like, he's kind of going down and then he's going right back up over that pelvis. Like, he did not want to come down under the pelvis. But it was like, it was close to 5, and they're like, all right, let's get the doctor in here to have this baby. Like, he's ready. He's coming out. So the doctor comes in. She gets all gowned and gloved. And I'll tell you, I had the best care team. And you can see it in the video. They were amazing. Just so supportive. So doctor gets in there. We're pushing. At 5:10 p.m., our little boy was born. My husband thankfully got to cut the cord. I was kind of upset because if we had had our C-section, he wouldn't have been able to cut the cord. I had asked, and that was just the rules of that hospital. It could be different other places if you have a C-section, I don't know. But he wouldn't have been able to cut the cord. He can't break the sterile field, is what my doctor told me. But since we had a successful VBAC, he was able to cut the cord, and it made me very happy. However, when they put him on my chest, because he did get stuck, his shoulder got stuck in there, and you can, if you go watch the video, you can see what they had to do to get this little boy out safely. But they put him on my chest, and he wasn't really crying, which worried me a lot, because as soon as they pulled my daughter out, instantly started crying. He wasn't moving, he wasn't crying, wasn't really doing anything. So they had after my husband cut the cord, they rushed him off my chest over to the little spot that they have. They're trying to get him to cry and to pink up. Apparently his cord was really, really long. And they said that he kind of got tangled in it, and he was like stunned from being stuck. But after a couple minutes, he did finally start crying. And he was perfect, guys. I mean, just perfect in my eyes anyways. I feel like we all feel that way about our own kids. Our kids are perfect when they're born. And the first thing my husband said was, oh my God, he looks like Emmy, my daughter. He looks a lot like my daughter, which is crazy because I have different dads. But he did. He looked a lot like her. He was 7 pounds, 3 ounces, and 21 inches long. And just amazing. And I do have to address this really fast. I have gotten a lot of good comments on my birth video, but there is one comment that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, and I was very polite when I responded back to this person. Somebody said that they'd be pissed if their husband was silent during their birth. If you know my husband, he is calm, cool, collected. That is him. He stays calm, he stays cool, and he stays collected. I was already not calm, cool, and collected. You can see it in the birth video. I was in pain, just not having a good time. Had my husband not been so calm, for me, it wouldn't have been a good experience. He doesn't have to be loud and boisterous during my labor and birth. He was there. He was very supportive. He held my hand. He did anything I needed him to do. He was amazing during my labor and during the birth. And it's okay if you have different expectations for your partners, but don't comment that on my videos. My husband was amazing. You see just a snippet of how my labor and delivery went. But I couldn't have asked for anything better out of him. He was great. And I just wanted to address that really fast. He may not have cried during the birth, or if he did, I didn't see it because I was focused on me. Believe it or not, I was focused on me and my son. And he was focused on me and my son. That's okay. That is perfectly okay. Some men don't cry. Even with something so emotional like that, they may not cry. They may not be loud. They may not talk. That's all right. It's fine. They don't have to, because he was so focused on us. It's okay with me. I had a very good partner during all of this. It was great that he stayed calm, because both of us freaking out would not have been a good situation. But after he was born, oh my God, he's been great. He is such a good dad to him, and he's already a good dad to my daughter, but seeing him with his own biological child is completely different. He's been amazing. He got almost 2 weeks off of work to help us recover and adjust, and it made all the difference in the world. That first week, I really didn't have to do anything. He did everything: the cleaning, getting food, taking care of him. Even in the hospital, I mean, he did great with him. But he's back to work now, so it is just me and him during the day because my daughter's at school. But when he gets home, he's great. Couldn't ask for anything better. But now that I got that out of the way, let's go to the update. So when we left the hospital, he was down 2 ounces from his birth weight, so we left at 7 pounds 1 ounce. And then at his 1 week appointment, he was actually down to 6 pounds 13 ounces. So he lost even more weight. So we had to go back for a weight check today at 15 days old. And he is officially up over his birth weight. He is 7 pounds 9 ounces. So he gained almost a pound in a week, which is amazing. He loves his food. He's eating very, very well. We are not breastfeeding. I wanted to. I did not have my heart set on it. I didn't breastfeed with my daughter. I knew that there was a possibility that I wouldn't do it. And you know what? That's what works for us. But I decided, because I was still in so much pain after I had him, that, you know what, formula feeding was just going to be our best option. And this way my husband would be able to help with feedings, especially through the night, and it's working very well for us. He's doing amazing on it, and honestly, however you feed your kid is your business. If you breastfeed, that's amazing, you're awesome. If you formula feed, you're amazing, you're awesome. Any way your child gets fed is awesome. That's just my opinion. It is not up for debate, not on my channel. But he's doing really good on that. He's asleep right now in the back seat. As far as introducing him on YouTube, it probably will not happen for a while. I do have him on Instagram, and actually as of today my Instagram is going to go private, so if you want to follow me, you'll probably have to request me, and I'll have to check out your page before I accept your request. Just because I kind of want to limit who has access to my kids on social media. I have my other Instagram private, my main Instagram is private, and my Facebook profile is private as well. Just because you just don't know people. You just don't know the people out there, and there are a lot of weird people, a lot of sickos out there. So he probably will not be introduced on YouTube right now. If you follow me on this page, you know that my daughter's really not on my YouTube either. And she's getting so old now that she doesn't want to take pictures. So she really isn't on social media anymore as far as pictures go, just because she is getting older and she's too cool to take pictures with me now. But yeah, that's just how that is. As far as where this channel is going now, I don't know. I don't know where I'm going to take this channel now that that chapter of our lives is over. And by that, I mean the infertility, the treatments, that part of our lives is over. We're not going to go through fertility treatments again. If we have a third kid, it will be because it happened on its own, like him. It will be a complete miracle. But we will not be seeking help to have a third child. So it's kind of bittersweet putting an end to this chapter. But, you know, it's been 5 years that we've waited for this to end. I never thought this day was going to end. But it's here. That chapter is done. It's closed forever. And it feels crazy to say that, but I'm so happy. I'm so happy it's done. We finally got our little miracle baby, my double rainbow, because my daughter was born after 2 miscarriages and he was born after 5. Yeah, 5. My husband and I lost 4 together. I lost 2 with my ex-husband, my daughter's dad, and I lost 1 in high school. My very first pregnancy I lost in high school. So he is my double rainbow baby, and we're just very, very thankful for him, very thankful to have him. Couldn't ask for any better kids. They're great. They're just wonderful. But as far as what's going to be on this channel now, I don't know. I don't know how many updates I'll do regarding him or me. Of course, if I do end up pregnant again, we'll be back. I will document that pregnancy as well. We're not decided on the third, well, my husband's not decided on a third kid. I've already decided I want a third kid one of these days. That baby fever is real after you have a baby. Let me tell you, it's ridiculous. But not anytime soon. I definitely want my body to heal, and I want to enjoy not being pregnant for now. And we need a bigger house before we even try to put a third kid in our lives. But definitely, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll get updates on there regularly. But on here, probably not so much. It just isn't what I want to do right now. I might do updates here and there, let you know how we're doing, but I wouldn't really count on a whole bunch of them just because I'm not the filming type of person, really, outside of my car. It just isn't something I'm passionate about right now. So yeah, just keep an eye out on Instagram, and you'll get to see all the cute baby stuff over there. But for now, I'm wrapping this up, and I don't know when I'll be back, but feel free to shoot me messages on there, comment on these videos, whatever you want to do. I still have the app, so I'll still get comments and stuff, and I'll still comment back when I can. But just know, I don't tolerate bullying on here. I don't tolerate rude comments, nothing like that. If I see it, chances are it'll get deleted and you'll be blocked. Just because I am very protective of my family. Just don't do it. I don't like it on here. There's no reason for it. We're all adults. Or, well, if you watch my channel, you should be an adult. You should not be a child watching my channel. But yeah, that's what I got. That's the updates. If you want to go watch my birth story, go watch it. There's nothing crazy. You don't see anything crazy on there. But, you know, everybody loves a good birth story, I guess. So I'll talk to you guys later.